Morning, everybody. Welcome to Angela's Forest. This should be very interesting. My man Thad here. Thank you for coming down. Hit me up on Instagram from HyperCar Development, Hyperfast Cars on Instagram. And first, you sent me a picture of a McLaren 12C that had 3 turbos on it, which I still don't understand. And that one you're still working on. I'm going to do that one later, right?
Absolutely. It'll be out here in a month or two, but It's about complete.
Okay, so this car is a 12C, McLaren 12C. What have you done? What has your company done with this vehicle?
So this one has stock turbos. It's 837 horsepower at the crank. And really, our big focus, primary focus on everything is heat management.
Okay.
You'll see today you can hit as hard as you want. We're at Willow Springs on Friday with Fast Toys Club. All day, 100-degree weather, never overheated.
So how much extra cooling have you been putting in this thing?
This one is really on the ECU programming, but now going forward on our 800 systems, we put our coolant system. So we actually divorce the reservoir, put 2 reservoirs, and separate the intercooler cooling from the powertrain transmission.
Okay, so there's a separate loop for that.
Absolutely.
Okay, neat. So in order to go from 660 crank, right? To 616 crank, excuse me, to 837 crank, you have, other than separating that cooling system, what else do you have to do?
We've got race cats.
Okay.
We do full Inconel exhaust. This has a center.
Affordable.
Yeah. You got to stick with the best on these cars.
Yeah.
You've got, on this one, it's got a center exit style exhaust. We also do Canon style, depending upon if you want more of a P1 look or kind of a 675 look. We also redo the rear fairing. That helps with evacuating heat from the engine bay.
Wow.
But a lot of it, these cars are really tamed down, and we spent 3 years on the ECU program.
Wow. So it's a similar setup to what you get with the P1 and all that stuff. So clearly there's room on the table. So all right, let's see how she do. Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right. Medium miler, this car, 15,000 miles. How long have you had it?
Yeah, we got it at 900 miles.
Oh, so you've had it the whole time?
Yep, and it's been 15,000 of abuse.
So how have you had, anytime we do anything with McLaren, the first questions that come up are always the reliability one. So how's it been?
No problems at all. So we've improved.
It's loud in here, so try and speak up if you can.
Yep. So we haven't had any problems at all. We've been building these systems for a year. We developed the 800 for 2 years, and then continue to improve it since. So we can show you the dyno graphs of our first version of it, and the second version is just even smoother power band in areas that we learned about in the development of the 1200.
A lot of these modified exotics, the biggest issues are always the ECU tuning.
Yep.
Wait, hang on. Oh, that's good torque, isn't it? Still gotta get used to cars like this. You can't just hop in it and go flat. So you said what, 2 years on the ECU?
Yep, absolutely.
Oh my God.
Factory ECU. You can take it to a dealership and they can scan it with the MDS McLaren diagnostic system.
Holy shit, look at that. Wow. What's funny is I didn't even really realize how fast that was until I looked down at the speedometer. Oh my God. Effortless speed.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely effortless. And where is your company based out of?
So our main shop is in Charlotte, but we're teamed up with Auto Concierge in LA.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Scott Elrod Auto Concierge?
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, I know Scott. Yeah.
We're out here about once a month doing events, Fast Toys Club events.
Well, this qualifies as Fast Toys.
Oh yeah.
Have you done anything else with the chassis besides add more power, or is that really
not on this. We have options to do the transmission upgrade that we do on the 1000 and 1200 systems that you can do it on the 800 just to have that sense of mind for the track monster.
What does that consist of?
We can do a limited slip on it. We can upgrade the clutch, the internals, pretty much top to bottom. We've scanned it. We've got 2 spare transmissions, and just make it rock solid for if you're gonna just tear this up on the track constantly.
tracked one of these against an LT yet?
We haven't. We did Texas Mile.
What'd you run at the mile?
Yeah, Texas Mile, we did 197, and that was on the old tune. And
197 in the miles?
Yeah, the stock 12C that was there did low 180s.
Okay, well that's, I mean, look, a 20 mile an hour difference in a standing mile, if you can get that with just 200 horsepower, that's, I mean, I don't think people really understand the exponential curves involved with that kind of stuff. Nice knee down there, sir.
Oh, yeah.
You know, typically if you want to run anywhere near a 200 mile an hour standing mile, you're talking about 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
And I think that really speaks to the efficiency of this platform, because if you can get that with only 837, you have a very efficient drivetrain, don't you?
We actually, on a road trip to the Northeast, got 26.6 miles to the gallon.
That's just weight and aerodynamics, huh?
Absolutely.
I mean, this is a very light car. This thing's not under 3, right? It's around 3.
It's just over 3.
Yeah. So you have a very light car, very aerodynamic, and to just maintain a speed. I mean, the engine's using 50 horsepower.
Yeah, for the amateur driver at Willow Springs, I was in 4th, 5th gear the whole time, except for that hard turn 3 when we go down to 3rd. But the power band, you don't have to have it up at red line. It's there down at the low RPMs.
So is when you have a gain of 220 horsepower or so,
yep.
How much gain torque do you have?
Yeah, torque, you're going, we're at the wheels, we're about 630, so the crank, you see
630 torque at the wheels?
Yep.
Wow. Fuck, man. Cars are too fast. Do you like vet people before you sell them this?
You have to sign a waiver.
Oh my God! Do you have to sign a waiver?
No.
I'd make people sign a waiver.
We don't just hand the keys to anybody because it is a beast.
Well, apparently you do, because somehow we've ended up here. Dude, how great is this road, by the way?
Oh, it's amazing.
This is the super secret awesomeness road. This car is insanely fast. Magnificent, Thad.
Thank you.
Is Thad short for Thaddeus?
No, a lot of people call me Thaddeus, but
I have a cameraman named Thaddeus who's doing a year in Dubai right now, and I miss him very much. It's a great name.
There's not many of us.
You don't forget a Thad. It's a very memorable name. I'll tell you where I do notice the difference. What year is this car?
2012.
Okay, the newer gearboxes are better.
Yep, absolutely. So we can do a gearbox upgrade. We didn't do it on this car. So once we get the 1,200 horsepower car out here, we're going to send this back and do the more complete 800 system we have now, the coolant system upgrade. You know, this is just the standard coolant system, and also the gearbox.
Well, I just drove the 570 recently.
Yep.
Which is insanely fast out of the box. I think that car is faster than a 12C out of the box. It's a good little U-turn right here. And the gearbox was lightning. And this is very, very good, but it's the only thing that really dates this car.
Yeah.
And it only does it by a little bit. But you can tell. It's incremental, but you know, is what I'm hearing back there traction control struggling to manage the timing?
So when you hear that bop bop, that is traction control kicking in, because you are in normal and handling.
Right.
We put in track and handling, cuts all that out.
Well, I intentionally, you know, look, you give me an 840 horsepower McLaren on a public road, I didn't see the need to disable traction control. But actually, what I've learned there is that traction control still is working at triple digits.
Absolutely.
And B, although you can hear it working, it's not killing power. I mean, it's probably not putting down quite as much as if it was open, but it's not dying.
Yep.
And that's really what you need out of a good traction control system.
Yeah, that's what we spent all the time on for, is you want to keep that McLaren essence, the active air brake, the brake steer, all that technology in the car, and just complement it.
And have you Have you programmed the traction control, or is that standard McLaren traction control?
No, we invested a lot of time in ensuring that it's balanced power. We don't put too much power in first and second gear unless it's a strictly straight line driver and they want that.
So for this car, it's boost by gear?
Yeah, so we don't just throw, you can throw a ton of boost at first and second gear, but this car, it's so light you don't need it.
Yeah. Well, at a certain point, it's just traction anyway, right?
Yep. So we're partnered with Michelin, only do Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s, so get a lot of grip, and you see a big difference in that versus the stock Pirellis on the track.
They're great tires, and I guess because this car is so light, maybe you don't chew through them as fast?
No, they hold up pretty well.
Whenever I drive a heavy car that's got those, I go through them really fast, but maybe with these lighter cars, not so much of an issue. But oh my God, is this thing fast? This is no joke. And you really haven't changed the overall feel.
No, it feels just the same, just a little more kick.
It does feel the same. It's just stupid fast though. Oh, you're gonna die, bird. You don't want no part of me today. So I mean, even though it might be contrary to your professional interests, roll with me on this.
Yeah.
Would you recommend a used one of these as a value proposition? I mean, or is it, you know, you should really buy the nicest, newest one you can afford?
It's honestly up to the buyer, you know, but for the guy that, you know, doesn't want to spend the 300 grand on a brand new 650S, but loves the brand, the 12C is a steal right now. The technology.
They're stupid cheap for what you get.
You can get a high mileage 12C in the 140s.
Yeah.
And then put 30 grand in it, and you're up there with the big boys.
Is that what this package is, 30?
30 grand.
It sounds like a lot of money, but, you know, when you're talking about a 30% bump in horsepower on a $200,000 car, it's not that far out of line. I mean,
it's pretty similar to most of the other systems out there.
A twin turbo kit on a Huracan is 50.
Yeah.
And that's there's a lot of hardware involved in that. I cannot believe how fast this car is. Oh, it's fantastic. Well, you said this one's been reliable, but wait, hang on. Oh my God. What a great car.
Thank you.
I need a drink after this thing. And it's pretty effortless. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to, but you could go slow in this thing.
And that's the whole thing. Surprisingly, I would say a large percentage of McLaren owners like the daily drivability. So that's why we didn't just go cranking up boost in every gear. It's nice, smooth. We test drive it in traffic in Charlotte. We test drive it in traffic in LA. And we want that daily drivability, but the ultimate sleeper when you want to hit the road.
How's Charlotte as a market for McLarens? That seems like an odd place to be modifying English supercars.
The market for McLarens, there's not a dealership, but the resources. It's race city. I mean, all the companies we work with are throwing distance from the shop. I'd say the only other area that you really have that amount of resources is Indianapolis.
Or Southern California.
Yep.
This car is stupid fast. And by the way, I have to compliment you on your calmness in the passenger seat. if you were driving this car and I was sitting there, I'd be shitting myself.
We've got a pretty crazy track driver, Safa. He's the lead development engineer, and he's about to make me throw up, so you gotta push this pretty hard.
Well, I'm not trying to make you throw up, but I'm impressed at how calm you're remaining.
Thank you.
I've seen you've not gone for the oh shit handle yet.
No?
The torque is just crazy. But you have maintained the character of the McLaren. It doesn't feel like a crazy tuner car. The water temp is right in the middle. Hasn't moved. And I've been above 4,000 RPM this whole time. It's 90 plus degrees out here.
Yep.
We're at altitude. We're about 4,000 feet. And oil and water temperatures are dead on the stick in the middle.
And that's
does
not
this have an accurate gauge, or does this have one of those make you feel better gauges where it doesn't move at all until it's about to overheat?
It's very accurate. We're at Willow Springs. There's a 12C out there that overheated, and these cars will go into limp mode.
Oh, okay.
When they overheat. But yeah, that's heat management with these small displacement engines has always been a big topic with the track regulars, and so that's why we added that coolant assist system to just keep that ease of concern and worry there.
Do you find most of your customers do go to the track with their cars?
Yeah, McLaren probably has the most track enthusiast community, but it's honestly depends on where you're at. I think San Francisco, LA is probably the larger track going community. Texas, I think, is more straight line.
Yeah, of course.
And then East Coast, it's very hit or miss.
Well, that was really impressive.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it out. HyperCar development, hyperfastcars.com.
Yeah.
You should go to their website. Do you have pictures of that 3-turbo car on there?
Yeah, it's
just go to their website just to see the pictures of this thing with 3 turbos on it. Because can I drive that when it's done?
Absolutely.
That seems like you're gonna have to take a whole other video to explain to me how that works. But this is really fast. Still feels like a McLaren, and it makes the value proposition for a used 12C even stronger. It really does. Thanks for coming. And thanks for watching, man. I appreciate all of y'all out there. See you later.